The story of Annabelle, one of the most infamous cases handled by paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, is chilling and complex, involving possession, demonic forces, and psychological horror. Here's the full story from the doll's origin to present day. In 1970, a young nurse named Donna received an unusual gift from her mother, a seemingly ordinary Raggedy Ann doll with a red yarn wig, cheerful button eyes, and a sewn-on smile. Donna, who was in her early 20s and lived with her roommate Angie, placed the doll on her bed, thinking it was a sweet sentimental decoration. At first, the doll seemed innocent, a harmless piece of decor. But soon, Donna and Angie noticed small, unsettling changes in the doll. Every day, the doll would appear in a different position or place. Sometimes its arms or legs were crossed, other times it was standing up when they were certain it had been lying down. It was subtle but enough to get their attention. Then things began to escalate. The doll would be found in different rooms from where they'd left it. They would place it on Donna's bed, only to find it on the couch later, or even in Angie's room. At first, they brushed it off as their imaginations or one of them playing a joke. The activity around Annabelle intensified. Donna and Angie began finding small pieces of parchment paper around their apartment with messages written in what appeared to be a child's handwriting. Messages like "Help me" and "Help Lou" appeared, despite the women having no parchment paper in their apartment. It became even more disturbing when they found what appeared to be drops of blood on the doll's hands and chest, with no apparent source. Terrified and desperate, Donna and Angie decided to contact a medium. During a seance, the medium told them that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had died tragically near their apartment building. The medium explained that Annabelle was a lonely, scared spirit who simply wanted to be loved and cared for. Moved by the story, Donna and Angie decided to allow Annabelle to stay, believing that by keeping the doll, they were helping a lonely child. However, this decision would lead to dark consequences. Lou, a friend of Donna and Angie's who frequently visited the apartment, never felt comfortable around the doll. He insisted it was evil and warned them to get rid of it, but they didn't take him seriously. One night, Lou experienced a terrifying incident. As he was sleeping, he woke up to find himself paralyzed, unable to move. He looked down to see Annabelle crawling up his body, her hands pressing down on his chest, choking him. He struggled, fighting for air, before the doll suddenly disappeared, leaving him terrified. Another incident occurred while Lou and Angie were alone in the apartment, examining a map for an upcoming road trip. They suddenly heard rustling in Donna's room. Lou entered the room expecting an intruder, but found it empty. As he searched, he felt a burning sensation on his chest. Looking down, he found bloody scratches running across his skin, as if he'd been clawed. The wounds healed mysteriously fast, disappearing after a few days, but Lou was convinced that whatever was attached to Annabelle was far from a benign spirit. Finally, fearing for their safety, Donna contacted a priest named Father Hegan, who, feeling it was beyond his expertise, reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigators. When the Warrens arrived, they immediately sensed a dark, oppressive energy surrounding the doll. They explained to Donna and Angie that Annabelle Higgins was not the spirit of a little girl, but rather a powerful inhuman demon masquerading as a child to gain their trust and permission to stay in their home. The Warrens warned that the entity's ultimate goal was to possess one of them, likely Donna, and would have used the doll as a conduit to attach itself to her. At the Warrens' request, a priest named Father Cook performed a blessing, a cleansing prayer meant to drive out evil from Donna and Angie's apartment. However, the Warrens knew that merely blessing the apartment wouldn't rid them of Annabelle's presence, so they decided to take the doll with them to contain it themselves. On the way home, Ed and Lorraine Warren kept Annabelle in the back seat, but the ride was anything but smooth. The car swerved violently, the brakes failed, and the steering locked up multiple times. The couple only avoided several near crashes by stopping and sprinkling the doll with holy water. Once they arrived at their home, Ed placed Annabelle in his study, but the doll's activity continued. It levitated, moved about the house on its own, and even growled at Lorraine. Realizing the immense danger, they eventually decided to build a special case for Annabelle in their occult museum, a space where they kept various cursed or possessed objects they'd come across. Ed constructed a locked glass case, and they enlisted the help of another priest to perform a protective ritual to seal the doll inside. The Warrens continued to warn the public about the doll's dangers, especially after a few incidents involving visitors to the museum. One such visitor, a young man, mockingly challenged Annabelle, tapping on her case and daring the doll to scratch him. On his way home, he lost control of his motorcycle and crashed, tragically losing his life. Another visitor, a priest, claimed the doll caused his car to break down multiple times. Over the years, the Warrens shared these stories as warnings about taking the supernatural lightly. Annabelle's glass case remains in the occult museum, though it's still treated with caution. Ed and Lorraine Warren passed away, but their museum remains, with Annabelle as one of its central pieces. Even today, visitors claim to feel an intense aura around the doll, sensing the dark energy that lingers. Though kept in a secured case and regularly blessed, Annabelle's story remains a terrifying reminder of the unknown forces that can attach themselves to ordinary objects. The doll's tale is now legendary, spawning movies, documentaries, and countless debates on the true nature of the paranormal. Whether or not one believes in spirits or demonic entities, the story of Annabelle stands as a chilling example of how curiosity, even when well-intentioned, can lead to truly dark consequences.